It's been more than a decade since Herschel Walker was a regular fixture of the sports pages. His brilliant athletic career ended quietly and is now filed away with the legends of sport. But Herschel Walker, at age 46, is back in the public eye and about to make headlines once again.
God don't really care about me scoring touchdowns. God don't care about football. I want to help people.
The revelation is this. For all his life, Walker says he has suffered from dissociative identity disorder, or DID, a rare and controversial mental illness once called multiple personality disorder.
I had it the whole time. I just didn't know what it was. I just didn't know how to cope with it.
There goes Herschel! There goes Herschel!
That young man you saw racing down the sidelines for the Georgia Bulldogs in the early 1980s,
He's running over people!
or flattening would-be tacklers on the road to a national championship, the one who set world records in track and field,
Herschel Walker!
the one who won the Heisman Trophy. Walker says that wasn't him.
He's got a blocker!
The guy who played 15 seasons of pro football and once danced with the Fort Worth Ballet. The one with the obsession for speed, the businessman, the public figure, the husband. None of those guys are him either. Not really. Those are his alters, he says, alternate personalities.
It's just personalities that can do different things for you. When I'm competing, I'm a totally different person.
Earlier this year, when word leaked that Walker was writing a book about his illness, the news was met with a collective and curious shrug. A former teammate, Kevin Butler, said, "I never saw him do anything I thought bordered on being weird or strange." Even his own father, Willis, expressed surprise. "I know him better than anybody because I raised him," he told an Atlanta paper, "and I don't know nothing about that disorder business." And Vince Dooley, Walker's coach at the University of Georgia, said, "That's news to me. All I know is whatever personality he had when he had the football is the one I liked."
Well, he probably did, so that means that he didn't care about the one that may have been suffering or hurting.
Are you shocked that really no one you really knew thought you had something like this, DID?
No, because why would they know that?
Your own father.
Right,
You never really noticed this at all.
right. When would they ever see it? You got to remember this, it's a coping mechanism.
All of which has left Walker in the rather awkward position of having to convince skeptical friends, family, and the public that he really is mentally ill. Even he didn't buy it at first.
And like today, sometimes I may tell myself, Herschel, that's a bunch of crap. That's not real. But then I said that maybe an altar just trying to fool me. And say, Herschel, that ain't right.
Are you serious? You
I
think
know,
it's an
I'm
alter?
being very serious because that's what happens with a person that's like that. But I'm saying that it does exist.
But we're all different every day. Sometimes we have different ways, different
Yes,
ways
but
we act.
to how severe you are.
Walker, who now owns a food service company called Famous 34, would seem to have little to gain and a lot to lose from making such startling claims.
I heard somebody say, Herschel, you wrote a book because you needed money. I'm like, oh, geez, I don't make myself look like a crazy person because I need money. Oh, wow. I'm like, yeah, you real.
The job of DID is to hide the disorder. That's its job.
Jerry Mangadzi is Walker's therapist.
So I don't expect mom and dad and brothers and high school coach and friends, I don't expect them to know it.
While the disorder usually surfaces in adulthood, it is thought to develop from childhood trauma.
I was a fat little kid with a speech impediment, and I didn't love myself.
Among the hundreds of disorders defined by the American Psychiatric Association, DID is among the most contentious. Walker's diagnosis is sure to stir the pot.
I think one of the problems we have in our society is that Hollywood brought us our definition of DID. And everybody thinks that DID should look like that.
In 1976, Sally Field introduced America to Sybil Dorsett, a traumatized young woman fractured into more than a dozen personalities, little girls, boys, a grandmother.
You're gonna hook me! You're gonna hook me!
The movie won 4 Emmys, but was widely panned by mental health experts as over-the-top and misleading, and misconceptions about the disorder linger to this day.
And that's one of Herschel's missions, is that I want to make sure people know that you don't have to be a Sybil to be DID. These alters are not just developed to carry trauma. They're also developed to help a person adapt to life and function.
And for most of Walker's life, he says that's just what they did. The warrior alter handled football and the pain that comes with it. The hero took over in public. The sentry kept friends and family at a distance.
It's not something people do consciously. Once he switched to that part of him, There's a thing we call amnesia that separates that part of the brain from the other part of the brain.
Mangazi says he met one of Walker's alters who actually appeared to be of a different race.
If I remember noticing that he put his fingers in his hair exactly the way a white person would.
What do you mean? So,
Yeah.
normally you would never do this, and
No,
I would?
I'll never do that.
Do you think DID pushed you into being more successful?
I don't know, but that's the reason I glorify DID if it did, because that's something good. One thing I say is there's good and bad. I'm not just saying everything is great at DID.
So what's really negative about having DID?
Oh, there's a lot of things negative.
In the beginning, it was just very strange behavior.
Cindy Grossman was Walker's college sweetheart. They married in 1983. And for 16 years, she says, she saw no signs of mental illness.
He had the ability to hide that because I think all the alters inside were focused on football.
But when his career ended and the competition was gone, Cindy says Walker's subconscious coping system went haywire.
I began to see the alters.
You saw alters.
I saw alters. I saw voice changes.
Is there any way you can tell me the difference in his voice from one alter to another?
Raspy. He would say things like he didn't know who I was.
His own wife?
Right.
He didn't recognize
He would
you?
refer to me as Miss Lady.
Did he forget what your name was?
I don't think he knew.
Really?
It's hard to explain. Even his physical countenance would change. First thing I thought was he had the devil in him or something.
So first, Cindy turned to the church for help.
She came to me to find out how to cope with it.
She's the one that first told you about this DID?
Yes, she did.
Another pastor even suggested an exorcism.
I wasn't pushing the church for exorcism. I was just trying to find an answer.
How many different alters do you think he had? Or has?
I think he has a lot. I don't know. I can't determine. But I met quite a few of them.
Any of them dangerous?
Yes.
His football career now behind him, Herschel Walker says his alternate personalities began to assert control. It was around this time Walker developed a fascination with guns and death. At one point, with a loaded pistol in his car, he admits he set out to kill a man over a trivial business dispute. In your book, you write, "The visceral enjoyment I'd get from seeing the small entry wound and spray of brain tissue and blood, like a 4th of July firework."
Right.
You got into a position where you were really about to commit murder.
Well, I don't know whether you're going to commit murder, but the thing is, I'm not going to shy away from violence.
But did you want to kill that guy?
Oh, yeah, I did want to kill him. Yeah, I did.
He tells the story that he was on the edge of wanting to kill someone.
Oh, yeah. I was probably one of them.
Do you think he wanted to kill you?
He said he did.
He said that to you?
Put the gun to my temple.
He had the gun right to your head? And what did he say?
I'm going to blow your effing brains out. I just must have had the strength of God in me because I just looked him in the eye and I said, go ahead, pull the trigger. I know where I'm going. Do you know where you're going?
I mean, is this a fight amongst husband and wife?
No.
And do you think that was a completely different person?
Mm-hmm.
Different voice?
Yeah. I mean, there was somebody there that was evil.
Walker doesn't deny he threatened his wife, but claims to have no memory of it.
Do you not remember something like that because you think that was another alter, or do you want to get out of having to talk about it?
No. If I can, I'm talking about everything else. If I can remember, I'd talk about it.
He says he doesn't remember a lot of the details of these.
He may not, but I certainly do.
A lot of the things that happened there that she may remember, he doesn't remember, because those were the things that were being done by these alters, which was so unlike him.
During one session with Walker and his wife, Mangazi says a rageful alter emerged and threatened to kill everyone in the room.
Now, the eyes changed. Those eyes that came out there didn't care anything about me, and when he says, I'm going to kill you, I believed it.
He said to you, he wants to kill you?
Yeah. That's not Herschel, though. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That was this raging one who could do that.
Eventually, Walker took out his anger by punching a hole in the door, and another alter emerged, this one a young boy.
Who was in terrible pain because the hand was broken.
I don't remember that one, but I
You don't
probably
remember that at all?
No, I don't remember that, but I probably did it.
They said you broke your hand.
Yeah, I probably broke my hand a lot.
Is part of this to kind of blame that kind of activity, that kind of feelings?
No, you got to take responsibility for it.
Walker later called his wife for a ride home from the hospital.
And he said, Herschel's hungry. Do you know what he likes to eat? I need to get him something to eat. I said, well, I know he likes wings.
So he didn't know what kind of food he ate, who he was, changed his name.
No, he was a different person.
Do you think there's any possibility that he just wants to use this to explain away some of these things that he went through and what he did?
No.
There are a lot of doctors that look at this and say, we don't think this really exists, this DID.
That makes me kind of angry. I just know he has it. I know what I saw.
Your ex-husband is a very famous American athlete. Why did you take so long to publicly tell about what you went through with him?
Because I protected him. I think I did what the Lord wanted me to do. And I have no regrets. It would be different if there wasn't a reason for the behavior. But when there's a reason, then you have to have compassion.
For that, Herschel Walker is thankful.
No matter what Cindy and I went through, Cindy stayed there and fought with me and did everything she could with me.
Do you think he's better off now than he was those years ago?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that was a very bad period of time.
Do you think this will ever happen again with him?
I pray that it doesn't. I think the more he seeks help and gets help, the better he'll be.
Walker has been in therapy for 8 years now, but takes no medication. He feels he's got the unruly classroom in his head more under control now.
I've totally changed from back then to where I'm at today.
He knows that by revealing his illness publicly, he's setting himself up for the doubters, even ridicule, but he says he doesn't care.
A lot of people may have these problems, but they're too ashamed or they're too scared to come out and say something. I said, I'm not ashamed because, guys, I'm human. I'm not nobody special. I'm just Herschel.
Walker says he'd trade all his athletic accomplishments to help just one person with this disorder. He'd even give up that Heisman Trophy, which he says he doesn't remember receiving. Bob Woodruff, ABC News, Dallas.